Support. Motion is second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment? None. Committee reports? Tiffany.
All right, so TIF committee met yesterday, and we finalized the TIF plan, which Kevin sent out last night. Really the major, not major, but the main change is that in the allocation of costs on table,
On page 16.
yeah, table 1, page 12, and table 2A, page 16, we increased the amount that we allocated for in the downtown building category for facade enhancements for the college to accommodate some of the financing or bonding and financing costs that we're going to have to incur if,
Is that on page 13? Is that why it went from 500 to 600?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
all right.
So awesome. We had a large discussion
Yeah.
about that, and so if we
Yeah.
took the financing and stuff out of that, then they would get less.
Oh, yeah, I just noted when I reviewed it, there was $100,000.
and it is not clear what exactly the financing cost will be until we get to the point where we may have to bond. So we allocated some additional funds, and as part of an agreement with the college, then we'll negotiate how much of the financing costs we'll be able to pay, how much they will pay. Really, that is the main change. There were some typos here and there.
There was
Which one?
the other half of it, where we took that extra $100,000 from.
Yeah, from two
places,
other categories that,
Which were,
which were from Riverwalk Capital Improvement. And if you look at table 2A,
In the sections.
in the column of 11 to 20 years, we decrease the allocation from 300 to 250,000. And then also in the same column, under streetscape update and refurbishment, we reduced the 800,000 to 750, and moved that 100,000 to the facade for the community college.
and then the other thing the committee talked about is any potential financing costs on the other projects that are in plan. And instead of increasing everything, we basically said it was our intention that those numbers are inclusive already of any financing costs, which are basically the Riverwalk improvements and the streetscape. They're not something that we can fund out of cash flow, that those financing costs would come out of that. But for the college project in particular, since I'm sure they left here thinking 500,000 was where they were gonna get, to say, what's 500 minus maybe 100 or more for financing, that's, we needed to add that in there.
So with that, the plan is ready to be submitted to council. And we need a motion, I guess, for do that.
I just had one but I know we've had some discussions about possibly partnering with the Chamber for Economic Development or somebody else. If we did that, where, is that reflected anywhere in the TIF?
Well, some of the projects that we've listed in the TIF would probably fall to that development stuff.
Okay.
And actually,
But in
also
addition-
under
Under
administration.
administration, that number that's projected there is more than a single staff person's.
Okay.
So,
That's where
We
I
don't-
looked, and I thought that might be a.
Right, we don't have an agreement, we don't have anything, so.
Oh, I know, but I just
reflecting.
wondered if we had some contingency plan in case at some point.
And can be another entity.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said, you can.
Yeah, but that was the intent to come out of that.
Sit there,
Is this the longest TIF plan ever created?
probably.
Yes.
It's a what?
I said, is this the longest in terms of 27 pages TIF plan ever created?
We do it right.
I didn't mean that disrespectfully
No,
at
no,
all.
I mean, it's like we will get every detail.
Fair.
Well,
Every-
normally, all of the components in this TIF plan are normal and required for a
Okay.
TIF plan. The only difference here is that there is a lot more detail on potential projects and cost and timing than any other plan that is I'm aware of.
Okay.
So,
In regards to the TIF plan too, you know, it's like, to me, I'm kind of to the point where I'm glazing over when I'm reading it. But, you know, it's a good read in the first few pages going over the purpose and the philosophies and stuff like that. And then Barry brought this, which I think, Kyle, you might have found. And so I've asked Caitlin to kind of send, yeah, this was a really nice summation and just another really good idea about, you know, good read. It's a good read.
Well.
So, okay,
you guys see it.
Kyle. Yeah.
and specifically the section, why would you have a DDA?
Right.
is
I think that's almost the last paragraph. Or
second last,
And in all honesty, this DDA's been kind of beat up over the years. We've kind of, you know, we went off-roading for a while, came back off the 2-track and, you know, all this different stuff. So it's kind of just kind of to motivate you again. It's like, it's just a good read, so.
It's just great transparency.
Yeah.
The community wants to know what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, the only danger is that we do not build up expectations that may not materialize. And, I mean, something happens and the market goes way down and we cannot collect as much TIF as we anticipate. That can be a problem. However, indications are that the real estate market is not going to
Plus,
substantially.
it's a 2020.
It's-
Right.
Yeah,
This is our
exactly.
best piece into the
Exactly.
future.
Yeah, this
It's
is
like
where we
any
do the
plan.
darts. So, I would make the motion that we send this to the city council work group.
Support.
That's all we need to say.
Okay, so we have a motion and support. I don't think we need a roll call. Any other comments? I just want to say thanks for all the work. It's a lot of 27 pages.
What are you doing with all your free time now?
Well, I would say, Barry, you keep carrying the big load.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And Caitlin, if you could just get that to Cindy, she included in the packet.
I'm sorry, the date of that meeting again?
Next Tuesday, May 7th.
November 26th. November 26th.
We did have a second piece to that, the master agreement that was sent
Yeah.
by the city for us to review, something that we have been asking for some time. So they came up with it, and we went through it in detail yesterday and found just some huge issues with it. The document itself is confusing as you read through it. And probably the biggest point I want to you know, the thing we were going through, and as we got to the even number 8, this is probably the basis of all the confusion
Or inconsistencies.
It's inconsistencies, that's it. The city infrastructure in downtown. The comment, the first one says the city owns the infrastructure in the downtown, whether paid for by the city or the DDA, and is responsible for repair and maintenance. And then they go on to describe what infrastructure means, which is the streets, the sidewalks, the crosswalks, the river walk. I can't say this word, appurtenances, the things that hang. I don't want to say that word. I even had to ask my English specialist in the house.
I have an extra copy if you guys need.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
Right on it.
You know what? I've got an extra one here too. It's got all kinds of stuff written on it. And stuff. You can see my doodles and don't read aloud any of the stuff I wrote next to some.
Okay, so you got one there, we have two here.
Yeah.
I think we're good, okay.
So, the next piece too is the infrastructure stuff, which really truly, you know, they even say parking lots and the fountain.
Flower baskets.
Yeah, so this is confusing because these are things that they're asking, you know, to be as part of some of this is the enhancement. That kind of changed everything because it goes on, further on, and says, you know, that cleaning of the streets, cleaning of the sidewalks, you know, taking care of the fountain, these are all gonna be charges that you're gonna get. So again, this document is confusing and contradictory in several areas.
And specifically there is that first point said the city's responsible for all maintenance and repairs. And then most of the rest of the document is how we're being asked to pay for maintenance and upkeep of various things that are listed there. So there's that interior inconsistency.
And that's a huge clarification that has to happen. I certainly do see, you know, some of these things as infrastructure, but really truly, you know, we do know that the fountain really was a beautification, as Barry put it, you know, so that is something that really isn't in their infrastructure. And we know the flower baskets, the signs that are put up, you know, the cleaning of the parking lots, these are things that are different than what regular maintenance would be. So we feel they need to look at that. We've got all of our ideas put together. So I want to start the first part where the DDA office. This is really a wonderful piece. It's an in-kind behavior in which, you know, they are going to allow us space and assistance and stuff as an in-kind. What we would like to do though is see a cost on that in-kind. How much is that, you know, what's the square footage of that? Because truly, and in putting it in here, we're really not sure because what if we grow and you can't put two people in that office. So we really need to kind of look at that and look at what that includes. And plus, again, typically in these type of agreements and stuff, you'll have an in-kind cost that you kind of know what you're getting.
And also related to that, if the American Greeners property is redeveloped, as I hear rumors, through the tribe, and indeed there is an office space for the DDA with another organization, again, this is going to change this. So what we did with this is build some flexibility so that the DDA is not obligated to stay at this location for the next 25 years.
It has listed as DDA accounting and audit services. We really don't feel that like 2-1, you know, that's nothing to do with this agreement. It's appreciated and we will help out or we can do this at our cost is all great, but it has nothing to do with this agreement. We did believe that 2, the DDA shall use the same independent audit firm in the city. We did think that was important to keep in here so that we have an understanding of what the audit responsibilities will be. The DDA budget, this area was really difficult to follow as well. we have to follow our bylaws, and our bylaws go to the city council. The city council, you know, so it was like where there was circumventing that process. So we're supposed to go to the city council. We don't submit the budget to the city for approval to go to the council. So we were concerned about that process and need to really look at that. We understand the importance of having the budget when the city is putting together its budget stuff, and it doesn't say that we can't cooperate with that, but our process is that we have to go to the city council with our budget. So we have to follow that type of stuff. So we kind of put that one out and said, hey, we got to look at what our bylaws are. The landscaping and Riverwalk, again, this again became an area of discussion when we talk about infrastructure. What are your responsibilities? If the DDA is not downtown, are you not going to cut the grass? You know, these are things that what constitutes responsibilities. We do want landscaping. We do want the DDA desires certain landscaping and maintenance services in a downtown Riverwalk, and the city shall be considered as the provider of those services. Now, if the city, and I asked to put the word be considered, because, again, 3 years from now, 15 people retire from the DPW, and they're gonna come to us and say, we don't know if we can get to it. We have to have a backdoor to be able to say, all right, we can contract this out for this year or do that. This other way was just too much of closing the door, and then, again, we're trying to foresee what could happen in the next 25 years.
And also this section needs to be looked at with attachment 1, because that's where it specifies all of the
What,
tasks.
I mean, we can jump to that attachment 1,
But
as long as we're in that section. Good point. The attachment 1, again, I have a red pen. Of course, seasonal work, that's all fine. We want to make sure that, it's all special events and holidays in the district. The city agrees to complete a walkthrough monthly as are requested with the representative of the DDA. I just put in there possibly with the executive director or representative. Mowing the grass on the Riverwalk as well as the hill grass, the southeast US 31 bridge, grass clippings should be removed from the site. It just seems to me as if this is, you just do that, don't you? Maintenance, the grass in the Manistee Municipal Marina section is not part of this proposal, which we did not understand what that meant. So all of the marina is not in the DDA area? I don't know. So that was confusing, why that was identified differently. Maintain the height of the foliage north of the river walk, between the river walk and the river, so that it never grows beyond the wood concrete of the river walk. It should stop at the railings. We want it to be appropriate, but in another section, it's more concerning. But anyways, right now, all dirt, debris, and trash, not should, will be regularly removed from the Riverwalk. Again, there was a lot of, it's like empty the trash cans and replace the liners. And it's like, okay, hopefully that would happen no matter what. And it's like, so did we pay? I mean, this is a public area, and we put trash cans and liners out everywhere in the public area. So this is an enhanced service. That was the question. Is this enhanced, or do we have to pay for 2 different things here? Collecting it was one payment, and then putting liners in another. It's just confusing. It seems like that could all go together. The mulch, certainly. Pruning, again, I'm a gardener. I love landscaping. Pruning is not just cutting and chopping. So you know, I get concerned about, yeah, we'd like to do this, and again, this just, it might be me, but, you know, the kid that we hire at the DPW for the summer isn't going to prune. You know, I just want it done right, so it doesn't look like, right.
Again, all of those items are kind of tied to Section 81.
Right.
So,
These are all kind of, the rest of them
Yeah.
are looking okay. The general maintenance issues need to be reported to the DDA. Yeah, it's different. I'm not sure in number 15, one of the things I saw was at the end of some of these, like lot at corner of Washington Street and Memorial Drive, for mulch, the area marked with an asterisk. It just gets confusing to me. Need mulch each year as well as maintenance to the shrubs. These areas are marked with asterisks. So that means that, again, it's part of this number 9, all the shrubs and perennials. I don't know why it's defined differently. Unless there's a different type of anything that needs to happen there, so. And the lot behind the Chamber of Commerce, that's a public parking spot, obviously, I didn't realize that. Restrooms on River Street, the restrooms, of course, at the marina are not identified here at all. They're not anywhere in any of the documents, and that was actually a big topic through the summer, so if those bathrooms aren't listed as general maintenance, which they say they are, or general infrastructure, then those are an enhancement. The marina bathrooms would be the enhancement that we're asking them to do, not the ones by goodies. Maple Street Bridge, the band shelter, oh yeah, that whole, number 19, we had a lot of discussion on that, but that's just, it is a mess over there, so. So then, that takes us through attachment 1.
I guess, how long is this agreement for? I'm just out of curiosity, because some of these things that are detailed will change, depending upon what happens to this corner or that corner, when we have changes.
It is written in here, I mean, it'll probably be, it could be for years, but there is enough information here that allows it for adjustments.
Okay.
You know, so
That's
if
good.
something comes up, let's say, we were talking about the fountain, you know, it's like, all right, so we can't handle that fountain anymore, so we have to make an adjustment because we're going to plant flowers, ivy instead of water. I don't know.
Sure.
So we'll
And-
make those adjustments.
in this agreement, I can be amended anyway.
Okay, well, that's good. I was trying to go back and see.
Christmas decorations, you know, the thing that we saw here, and this is a big discussion area, is the sleigh bell is put in. The sleigh bell is an event. Christmas decorations are different. So the DDA asked for the lights and the bridges, and there was something about garland, city shall install decorations.
Yep.
I don't know where that garland was. Oh,
It's on
down the
two.
marina, or somewhere by the marina, there's supposed to be garland too, which we didn't know what that meant. But anyways, we thought that the sleigh bell should be separate. Because is it in the attachment?
Yeah, it's an
In
attachment.
the attachment number 2, we have removal, storage, okay, removal and storage we agree to. But
So the
cleanup,
first 2.
provide parade assistance, grills, barricades, fencing, garbage cans, additional garbage cans, cutting Christmas trees. These are sleigh bell things, which is an event, which they want to charge us for. Which,
Well, they should charge.
well, they should
but-
charge,
But.
charge
they
the
may-
event.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a committee for that.
Which
Right.
currently is under the DDA, but we know that there are discussions that maybe those events will go elsewhere, so we need to separate out
The
just
event.
winter decorations that are DDA-wide versus things associated with sleigh bells.
Sure, that makes
So
sense.
we agree to wrapping the light tree, or the T-poles, stringing the bridge, you know, the providing are hanging the banners, probably the cleanup of all that, or removal and cleanup are kind of the same thing,
And
in
buying
storage.
bags, too.
Yeah, so we agreed to those pieces, but the other pieces we like to see moved back to the Slayville responsibility.
Yeah, because there's other events that happen in our community that aren't DDA related, so we would want all events to be focused in either DDA events or chamber or any other organization.
So again, the hanging of the flower baskets, you know, not a big deal. Landscaping service being requested provided acceptable to the parties, nothing really big there. Enhanced services, yes, we agree that there's, you know, the enhanced services are something that the DDA will help with and need to pay for. Not a big problem there.
Well, except
Well,
for the
except-
definition of enhanced services, yes.
Well, yeah, according to this whole document.
So in the first, item 7.1, the DDA's responsibility goes through the word salting. And then the rest are part of the,
No, not even that.
No, because it contradicts 8.1 and 8.2, so we do feel that the sidewalks is an enhancement, and the salting and the cleaning of the sidewalks is certainly an enhancement.
yes,
that
that's
we
what I'm
pay
saying.
for. Yeah, okay.
But,
All right.
But the streets.
but no limited to, you know, what, yeah, we didn't change that, okay.
Um,
We get back to it.
So then, moving into, going back to 8.1, which you can, it said what the infrastructure was. But then you go on to 8.4 through 8.7. DDA may request enhanced expedient maintenance of city infrastructure. Again, conflicting statement, but we just want to know what expedited maintenance would mean. An emergent situation, I would imagine they would take care of, so, you know, all the lights fell off the bridge, do we put them back up right away, I don't know, so those type of things. Infrastructure requested or proposed by the DDA, again, that has to go to the council, we have to share with the council first, any kind of, we want to knock down the old senior center, build a new building, you know, we're gonna buy all that property, that type of huge economic change in our downtown will not only be managed by somebody possibly, but then we have to bring that big plan up to the council. And then 8.7, my concern on this one especially was infrastructure shall be procured and installed by city or its contractors. This is really kind of shutting it down for any type of bid process. And so I just really have a problem with this. We have the ability to also ask for, or if we do have the economic group working on this, we might say to them, you guys go get the bids and bring them back to us. We don't have to use this, we shouldn't have to just use them.
And
But-
we do have a policy that says that we're supposed to bid.
Well, and they
It's
do talk
consistent,
about
it has to be
purchase,
consistent with
the city's purchasing policy, which, you know, I thought should be attached here, so that we know what they're even talking about. But I'm sure the city has a process and policy for procuring, you know, bids and stuff like that. However, it does not say only city people or resources can be used. I'm sure of that. Yeah. Payment of services, you know, we still have to talk about that. We talked about, you know, a quarterly basis is not how we get paid. We get paid a couple times a year. So making a quarterly report and payment is contradictory to what our payments are. So we're going to want to look at that whole section.
Yeah, we tie that to whenever we get TIF payments.
And probably the last big thing was in the termination of this contract, they have 180 days. I never am comfortable with that length of time, so I've requested 90 days. So.
Karen, you need to go back to 9.2.
I might have fell asleep by that time.
The,
Shall increase, oh yeah, shall
Yeah,
increase
so-
at a rate of 3% annually, and we thought it should be the rate of TIF and or increase annually at 3%. So that, again, our TIF, like, what, we went almost like 10 years, almost 15 years at a flat, it
Yes.
didn't really do much.
Mhm.
So this says, even if it's flat, you're going up 3%. So we wanted to be able to say at the rate of the TIF or 3%, whatever the rate is. I don't have a problem with that one. And then we had one
Whatever
class.
is lesser.
Lesser, yeah. Yeah, it's low. That's how I try to negotiate with the state. And then, of course, the hanging baskets, there's absolutely nothing there that we had any concerns with. Attachment 4, again, all of this comes, this is all the enhanced services. And again, it's confusing, you know, winter maintenance, no, except for the sidewalks, definitely, and the salting, definitely. East River Street winter maintenance, I don't know if that's something different. If West gets something different than East, or, I don't know. So, to me, that's all the same. Street sweeping, nothing big. Refuse pickup, that has to happen. Restroom cleaning, we figure that's the goodies. Signage, we're not sure what that is, unless that's the banners, which is located somewhere else in this. Striping, no, but street light maintenance, I would say there's two pieces to that. The actual maintenance of the light is fine, however, a refurbishing, repair, or updating of those lights, which are not, you know, typical, would be different. We got the sidewalks, the fountain, yes, the clock, yes. I know, I forgot to check if the clock's on time or not. Flower boxes, yes, benches, yes, and the banners. And that's what we think signage means, not sure. So that was our 2.5 hours yesterday.
I better.
So it's at least a start, we appreciate that, it's something more formal that we can give back. And it's not that we're opposing to get into the agreement, and the agreement is perfectly fine with us, it's confusing, and it contradicts itself, so, you know, we're gonna clean this up and set it back and say we're interested in agreement, but these are the areas we have to look at.
So logistically, we're meeting again this afternoon, go over this, clean it, and prepare a draft that then can go to, and that's the issue we need to discuss right
Yeah,
now.
it's a work session. You know, do we want, and you might know best, you know, to help us in this direction. Should we send this to the work session with, you know, our, like, a strikeout document with all of our stuff that we feel, or should we just work with city staff
Work with
first?
that committee group,
Your
through city staff.
City staff
Yeah.
first, okay. So we'll keep this out as.
So we won't be able to take it to council for the
Right,
work
and
session.
that was my question, I know we talked about it
Yeah.
as a board, that, you know, that's an integral part of this.
Yeah.
And so we gotta, how can we coordinate those?
How is this an integral part of the TIF?
Because, well, the payment part of it, that the city expects as part of the TIF.
I mean, I have had a huge problem with this. I mean, it totally goes against the purpose for a DDA. I mean, it really does. It doesn't, it's not infrastructure, it has nothing to do with why we have a DDA. And even going back to the things that are almost existing, like the maintenance downtown, we're just like rubber stamping. The jobs aren't even getting done as is, and we're agreeing to it. And I just, this is what started dividing the DDA years ago with the prior city manager. When we would sit down, he attached prices to everything and basically said, there's downtown, there's the city of Manistee. And we're not designed to operate separately. I mean, where's the pride that says, hey, downtown is the face of our community, we stand behind it. And basically, it's a money grab, that's how I see it. And I don't even know if it's legal. So I have a huge problem with this, and I can't support it almost in any way.
But there is some tie with the TIF plan because some of the costs that are tied to this agreement are covered by the project costs we have in the TIF plan.
Okay.
Like
Not
streets.
all of them, but some of them. So I can see council saying, okay, what is the cost of this agreement and where is it going to come from? So that's the tie that I see. However, there is no reason why, I mean, we have put in the TIF plan, there are amounts allocated and some specifically to items in this agreement, some indirectly tied to that.
Okay.
So those will come out as needed once this agreement is finalized. I think, as Karen said, the major change and reason for going over this again is that the inconsistency between what is presented or proposed in the body of the agreement and the attachments, and then section 8. That's really the reason for having to look at it so
I
closely.
think going back to Karen's point about enhanced services, I don't think removing the snow from the streets in the downtown is an enhanced service. I think that's like, we would do that citywide. And I think that, to your point, that's probably some of your concern. I mean, we're paying to clean the bathrooms, to empty trash cans. Wouldn't we do that anywhere in the city, that we had trash cans or that we had a bathroom provided?
Well, but just, it doesn't go, it doesn't, it's not infrastructure, it's not what our budget is designed to be used for. And if, it just, it doesn't make any sense to me, I don't understand.
And I totally understand where you're at, because that was where I was for the longest time. It's like, why am I paying for what should be a general maintenance? You knew the Riverwalk was being built.
Mhm.
You never thought about how it would be taken care of. The expectations would be taken on over here. So to me, that was limited insight into what all of this is going to be about. However, I've come back to an area where it's like, okay, I understand some of the stuff, the enhancements, like, you know, as when in the old days, when I had property on Herb Street, you had to shovel your front, you know, lawn. There was no machine that came through and cleaned it. And we've started doing that over the years. And you know what, that is an enhancement. It's a service to all our downtown people, owners. That is over and above what's usually done. So, you know, that's okay. Yeah, the sidewalk. You know, if we built the fountain, and the fountain is kind of an extra thing on the big list of things they have to do, I get it. All right, we can kind of watch the maintenance on that too. But the regular day-to-day things, if you don't stripe downtown, I don't care. I mean, if you're gonna ask me to pay for it, I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't matter to me. People figure out. You know, so is that really something that the DDA has to regulate? Because, and here's the other side, and I said this to Mr. Mikula, if you're gonna put it in this thing, I'm gonna ask to be on that committee that's gonna manage this. Because I will be down there telling you.
But
the stripes of
that's
war.
part of my point, is I've been on the maintenance committee for over 10 years, and it's not, there's a complete disconnect between, you know, I've done all the walkthroughs for years, beginning, middle, and end of the season, and there's just not, there's an acknowledgement when we do the walkthroughs that things need to get done, and okay, we'll do it, they don't get done, and so why are we agreeing to this? I mean, we're better off just, if we have to pay for it, then let's just contract it out. The city's not designed to do that type of work, and it's not an insult to the DPW, it's just that's not what they're capable of doing. It's not about manpower and money. It's about you know, the skill and how it's done. But I don't understand, I mean, yeah, a couple of the things we could agree to, but we don't need a document like this to agree to, you know, helping out with maintenance on the fountain. It's just,
And that's why we ask in here, it can't be, and we're the only source you can use. No, we have the right to go out and to bid. And I know that we've done landscaping bids before and it was horrible. Well, then we find a different landscaper.
it wasn't horrible, it was okay, it's just that we, at that time, weren't willing to pay for what really needed to be done. But we had, there was accountability there, now there's no accountability at all.
Right.
So if we're gonna pay $75,000, and if that's our budget for landscaping, then, or even 50, we could get it done, but.
And what in part of these meetings too, you know, it's like, I think we've come, and again, I'm fairly new to this committee, so, and you guys have a lot more history, but in meeting with the TIF, the DPW director was willing to be there, sit down, talk about this stuff. I mean, there was a huge, I thought that was a huge shift in willingness to, you know, deal with these issues. And he heard very clearly that there's a lot of stuff that we're not very happy about. And I thought he was very sincere in regards to we want to do this better.
Oh, absolutely, and I don't doubt the intentions
Yeah.
at all.
They're just saying that on staff or staff.
Well,
not trained,
right, yeah, it's just, it's, that particular piece of this, but,
Well-
I'm just gonna say on the flip side, when we had the MSU extension come in, there were places on the Riverwalk area that they recommended that we change the landscape and cut things a little deeper to enhance the view. And so when you talk about pruning, I think some of that type of activity needs to be very deliberate and needs to enhance the area. And it's difficult unless somebody's really guiding, as you're saying, that process to have it done well. So
I gave Caitlin some ideas about who we can start contacting and consulting with on the Riverwalk.
Yes.
And some other ideas of what we can do in order to offset some of these expenses. But, I don't have a problem with going back and working with the city and putting this, you know, it probably would be maybe one page in the back, you know, with an outline. It doesn't need to be all this other stuff. Because it doesn't need to be a contracted type of anything. It just needs to be an understanding, I think.
well, and that's what we came to last year, more specifically with the landscaping, it was a memorandum of understanding.
Right.
Now we're putting this in a document, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good to have a document that spells out who's responsible for what and how things are going to be done, so that we do not have misunderstandings and misconceptions, 2, 3, 5 years down the road. However, this document, the way I look at it, it seems to be and I don't know exactly who prepared it, but having seen other city contracts, this appears to be a combination of parts from different contracts, put together, which is fine. That's a very good start, and personally I appreciate having a document to work with. So the next step then is for us to make proposed changes, and then either, that's where I think we need some direction
We'll
from
bring
this
it back to
board.
this group.
Discuss it in the board, or discuss it with city staff, Jeff and Ed, and then bring it here again, whichever you prefer.
You're meeting then this afternoon?
We're meeting this afternoon.
No,
yeah.
we're meeting this afternoon, just
Yeah,
us.
in-house to work on this.
I guess I'm comfortable, we've already chartered the TIF committee, or this committee to get it done, and I just rely on whoever's on the committee to work out the kinks.
Sure.
And then bring it back.
And then bring it back
Yeah.
to, well, the question is, do we bring it back here first,
No.
or to the committee that includes city staff?
I think, personally, what I'd like to see is just have our committee meet with the city staff, work something out, and then bring it back to us.
Yeah,
I don't-
because,
I think otherwise it's gonna be drawn out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when I look at section 8.1, 8.2, you know, these kind of spells things out in a way different than discussions we had with city staff in the past. So maybe there is a change in the, on the part of the city on how they propose to deal with the
So
infrastructure. So-
maybe even we can offer, if Ed or
Yeah.
Jeff, I know the last
They should
one,
be
are
both.
available, we're gonna meet at 4, just so you can tell them that they're available. You know, they can come in and hear pieces of what we found.
To Kyle's concern, I think it's appropriate to have some kind of an accountability, if we're gonna go with an agreement, you know. How do we resolve our differences of we're not getting what we paid for?
Yeah. And that, you know, and last summer, my experience a couple times was that, you know, people stop me and go, hey, you know, you're somebody, you can make this happen, and there's no toilet paper. You know, I don't know, 3 or 4 times down on River
Yeah.
Street. It's like, what am I, the toilet police now? But when I stopped out at the city building, you know, they were very prompt in taking care of it, but it's like, yeah, we've got some, you know, high school summer workers on that, you know, so it's like, maybe that's what the problem is, you know, it is younger kids. Again, you switch them over, and it goes to what Kyle's saying, you know, do they really have that skill sets? And when I say prune back the flowers, are they, I don't know.
Well, if you think about it, we've had quite a few business owners sitting in the last year asking us, who is responsible for this? I hear it's the DDA for even basic maintenance like the restrooms. And then we're saying that we think it's the city, and so I can see why having an
Yeah.
agreement is good, but if we're responsible because we're paying for it, that's a very difficult situation to be in. In other words, why would we pay for a service and then someone else be delivering it and we be responsible, especially some of the basic things like cleaning the streets and emptying the trash cans, or putting toilet paper in restrooms. I mean, if people are really then think the DDA is responsible for it, I think that's kind of an unusual thing, to be honest.
All right, so, what I'm hearing here is we're going to work on this when we meet this afternoon. If Ed and Jeff, and I think both of them should be, if they're available, then we have the discussion with them. Final draft or redraft this and bring it back to.
Sounds like a plan.
If we need a special meeting, that's fine. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't
We're
snow,
here.
we don't get the fear of snow that morning, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think a motion is needed for this. I think we can move on to board member comments. All had time. Public comment. And motion to adjourn.
So we'll
Thank you.